All right, y'all. Let's talk about this money, okay? Okay. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Angelique, just in case you didn't know. And today, let's talk about this money. So, I just want to let you know that this is going to be broken into parts. So the first part, when we're talking about money, is going to be based on budgeting and how to get to your dream vacation. So the goal is for us to talk about how not to live paycheck to paycheck, because that is going to be the key to how you can budget and how you can make it to that vacation. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is income debt to ratio. So just in case you don't know what income debt to ratio is, it's basically how much money you are pulling in and how much money is going right back out to all your expenses. So that's including your rent, your car insurance, your actual car note, your phone bill, stuff like that. So I'm going to give you a scenario of what I mean. So let's say if I make $2,000 a month after taxes and everything like that, and my expenses come up to $1,500. That means I only have $500 to actually save. But in a way, you don't get to save that $500 because you have to think about gas, you have to think about groceries, you have to think about unexpected expenses. So really, you only have a little bit to work with to actually save for your dream vacation. So you want to make sure your income debt to ratio is as low as possible. So just because, you know, you might get accepted for this nice Mercedes, you'll get that Mercedes. It's about $500 a month, and then you'll get insurance, which is about, let's just say, $200. Now you're spending about $700 a month on a car, and you're like, I can afford it because I make $2,000. Now you have to pay your phone bill, which is, let's say, $100. Then you have to pay for your rent. Let's say that's, if you're splitting rent, let's say that's like $500. All of that starts to add up, and then you're like, dang, I'm spending as much as I'm bringing in, so now I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Starting off, let's say if you work a regular standard job or you work minimum wage, you have to see what's best when it comes to how much money you're gonna have left to spend. Because if you end up spending too much of the money that you're making, that's how you'll get stuck with,
oh my gosh, I can't wait until I get paid these next 2 weeks, because if I don't, I'm kind of screwed.
Stuck in the cycle where you're gonna keep on working, forget vacations, forget family trips, forget all of that. I need to work so I can pay my bills. You don't want that stress when it comes to that. So the best bet is to weigh out your options. So always think of the best way to get what you want. So if you need a car, don't get the newest car. Get a used car for now if you can't afford it. So the lower your income is, the lower you should be spending. The higher income is, the higher you can spend. So for instance, when I was working 3 jobs, when I was working 3 jobs at fast food restaurants, I literally made sure that my first car was something that I can pay off, so I don't have to pay month to month, because I wasn't making enough money for that. In order to be comfortable, I would have to literally work paycheck to paycheck in order to pay my car. So what I did was I saved money from my 3 jobs, and I got a 1999 Honda Coupe. It wasn't the best, okay, but it got me from point A to point B. So basically I paid I think about like $1,200 for that car, and my insurance was like $200. So I only was really spending $200 on a car, when if I were to get a used car from like a car dealership, I would end up spending about $700. So you see the difference. So now I have additional $500 in my pocket every month because I didn't go out and buy that used car. According to Smart Assets, your ratio should be at or below 36%. So like I said, a 36% or less. Okay, so just make sure that you can basically figure out how to make sure your income debt to ratio is as low as you can possibly make it. I know there are certain situations where that isn't the case, which is okay, but You want to try to make sure that you get try to get like extra income, working more hours or getting a second job just to get yourself out of that situation. You do have to work a little bit more if you are stuck in that situation right now, but you can totally do it. I totally believe in you. So I'm going to show you with my phone. The screen is going to be up here, but I'm going to show you. So if I make $2,000 a month, right? And if I times that by 36%, I should only be spending $720 with all my bills combined. So now, let me tell you how much I am going to be saving. 2,000 minus 720. I will be saving about $1,300 a month. So it's really important to look at your income and say like, okay, so I make this much amount of money. If I were to invest into this car and end up paying car note and my car insurance, how much money would I really have to save? So it's really important to do that, because the more money you save, the more trips you'll be able to go on, the more things you'll be able to get when it comes to shoes, belts, whatever. And then you'll be able to actually pay for your car if something happens. You see, what happens a lot of times is people will go out and buy that Mercedes and end up paying $700 a month. Then on top of all their other expenses, they realize that they only have $200 left within that month. And then something happens to that Mercedes and it costs like $1,000, and like, damn, how am I gonna pay for that? So that's what ends up happening. Right. And then another thing I do want to suggest is to make sure that you always have a certain amount in your bank account that you will not surpass. So this is really important, because this is going to be like basically like your savings account in a way, but not really. This is just something that you'll have just in case something happens. So since, let's say I have a bank account, I'm like, all right, I will not go past 500. So if I have 1,500 in my bank account, I spend 1,000. You're broke. That's how you have to think. Like, okay, I don't have any money, because you don't want to spend that $500. This $500 is for emergencies. This $500 is if I get stuck in a tough situation and I need money. So it's really important to keep a certain amount in your bank account so you don't have to basically stress if something were to happen. Because what happens is you see that money and be like, oh, I still have money, and then you keep spending. Oh, I still have money. Okay, I'm gonna spend $5 here, $5 there, $5 here. Next thing you know, you really just don't have money. Like, your account says 0 or it says $1. Okay, so now we are going to be talking about how to get to your dream vacation. So in 2017, I went to Puerto Rico, and I basically paid for my ticket. I paid for half of the place that we were staying at. I paid for basically my food and drinks and stuff like that. And then for Paris, I was gifted those tickets, but I did help pay for the place that we stayed at and etc. So if you do follow that income debt ratio, making sure that it's at 36% or lower, then you'll be in good condition to save enough money for your whole trip. So I'm going to be letting you know what I do to basically prepare myself / plan a trip that I want to go on. So the first thing that I do is figure out how much the trip is going to cost. So when I say this, I'm talking about your flight, your Airbnb or hotel, how much the food normally costs over there, or is their currency more, is it less than ours, is it the same, and then like things that I know that I definitely want to do when it comes to like going jet skiing or something like that. How much would that typically cost when you go to that country or state? Basically have an estimate of how much you are going to spend when you get there. Another thing that I do is to figure out how long I want to stay there. So do I want to stay there for 7 days? Do I want to stay there for 3 days? That's really important, because if you stay there for 3 days, most likely you won't spend as much money if you stay there for a whole week. So the third thing that I do is try to figure out what bills do I have to pay for before the trip, when I'm on the trip, and then after I get from that trip. So it's really important that you do this, because this will affect your savings and everything like that. So normally what I do, the month that I'm going on vacation, I make sure that the month before that, I basically pay for my bills, like all my bills. So for that month before, and then also the next month. So I don't really have to worry about it when I'm on the trip or before my trip or after the trip. So basically I double my payments for all my bills, because you don't really want to stress about bills when you're on vacation, and you don't want to stress about it when you come off of vacation. So I make sure that I do it the month before. Around that time, I try to work a little bit extra just to get extra money. You really want to make sure that you take care of all your bills basically that month, especially if you're going for like 7 to 14 days. Like, that is the best thing to do. Now, if you're going for 3 days, you don't really have to do that. But it really is important for you to do it if you are taking a longer vacation. Last thing that I make sure is to basically figure out if I'm going to get paid when I'm on vacation or not. So you want to make sure that if you have vacation time, that you use it if you want to. But if you do use it, of course, you'll get paid when you're on vacation. So this is really important when you're taking long trips, like when it's like between 7 to 14 days, because that's like a week to 2 weeks of you not getting paid or you getting paid. So if you're getting paid, you don't have to worry about anything, because you will see a paycheck. Now, if you're not getting paid, it's really important that you make sure that you have enough money to be okay when you come back from the trip, because most likely you'll have a really low paycheck or no paycheck at all because you took such a long vacation. So you really have to factor in, hey, am I gonna have enough money when I get back? But that's all that I do. I use these 4 things. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. I am not stressed out when I come back from vacation. I have enough money in my account. All my bills are paid for, all of that. So you literally are just waiting to the next month to just basically pay your bills again and stuff like that. It's really important, because you come back from vacation, you don't want to come back to reality and be stressed out. Like, that is not the goal. So yeah, that's all the things that I use. This is the end of part 1 when it comes to
the money, the ka-ching, the money man, the devil, the root of all sin.
There will be a second part coming very soon. If you guys have anything that you want to talk about when it comes to money, please comment down below, and make sure you like, subscribe, and I will see you guys soon.